All right, beautiful. Thank you for joining me for a restorative yoga and journaling class. My name is Holly. My pronouns are she, her. This is a floor-based class. You'll want a carpeted or soft area or a yoga mat if you have one. You don't need any fancy yoga props like bolsters, blocks, straps, but you will want some pillows of different sizes from around your home. So these are the pillows that normally go on my couch. You can grab couch pillows, pillows from your bed, just a couple of pillows of different sizes. You might want a blanket as well. And if you'd like to stay for the journaling portion of class, you will want a pen and paper nearby. Okay, with all that said, we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can sit crisscross applesauce. You can sit in Sukhasana, easy pose with one foot in front of the other. Take a moment to rock back and forth, side to side. Roll your shoulders forward a few times, backward a few times. Then relax your shoulders, lift your chest slightly. Take a nice easy breath in through your nose. Anything you'd like to let go of. And exhale through your nose or your mouth. If you'd like, you can place one hand over your heart space and one hand over your abdomen. You're welcome to close your eyes here or keep them open or do a soft fuzzy gaze beyond the tip of your nose. Take an inhale, feel your chest and abdomen rise. Exhale, it can be through the nose or the mouth. Feel your chest and abdomen fall. Inhale, feel your ribs expand. Exhale, feel your ribs contract. On the breath in, feel the air coming in through the nostrils. And on the slow breath out, observe your lungs deflating. Inhale and exhale. Your breath is your home base in this class. And if at any point you find that your mind is really starting to wander or you're getting a little anxious, you can return to your breath. And if at any point something that I'm suggesting does not work for you or just doesn't feel right to you, you are welcome to take a different variation of a breath or a yoga posture. You are welcome to do something else entirely. And you're also welcome to skip something and just sit or lie still and observe your breath in and out. If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes, set your hands down by your side. We're going to come into a tabletop position. If you have tight knees, ankles, or toes, you're welcome to roll up your yoga mat a little bit so that there's extra padding under any delicate lower body joints. And we're going to start, before we get into more slow held postures, we're just going to take a couple cat-cows here. Inhale. And on your exhale, pull your abdomen in, round your spine like a cat, meow. So push the floor away from you, round your spine, pull your abdomen in. On your next inhale, cow pose, moo, you're going to drop your abdomen down, stick your butt up, look up towards the ceiling, roll your shoulders back and down your spine, press your chest forward, push the floor away from you. Exhale again into your cat pose. So draw your navel in towards your middle spine. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Slide your shoulder blade scapula apart as you press your hips forward. On your next inhale, cow pose. Send your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Let your abdomen hang heavy. Squeeze shoulder blade scapula together. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Neck long, look up. Exhale. Cat, meow. Inhale, cow, moo. Let's take 2 more rounds at your own pace, rounding and bending the spine. Remember that throughout class, you can go at your own pace. Our movements or our timing does not need to mirror each other. I'm going to take my last round of cat-cow. Whenever you're ready, bring your spine back into a neutral position. Great. From here, we're gonna just bend our spine a little bit. So swing your hips to the left and then look over your left shoulder as if you were a cat looking for its own tail. So we're squeezing into the left side body, stretching the right side body. Good. Slowly bring your hips and head back to center. And we'll do the other side. Move your hips to the right and then look over your right shoulder. Stretching the left side body, squeezing into right side body. Good. Slowly move your hips and head back to center. Let's try that one more time. Move your hips and gaze to the left. Come back to center. Move your hips and gaze to the right. Good. Come back to center. From here, you can bend your elbows for a moment, bring them out, push the floor away from you, and then we're going to make circles with the hips and the shoulders. So moving your hips clockwise, and then counterclockwise. Just getting some motion in the body at the beginning of class. Good. Come back to center. Last one, we're going to do a spine twist here. Keep your left hand on the floor. As you inhale, reach your right arm up, look up. Exhale, set your right hand down on the floor. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down on the floor. We'll do one more round. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. Reach your left arm up, look up. And then float your left arm down. Great. Next, we're going to go into fetal pose, which is a more gentle version of child's pose. You're going to bring your knees apart and your big toes together. Start to sink your hips back towards your heels, bringing your forehead to the floor. Rather than having your arms forward, take your arms down by your side, palms facing up. You are welcome to practice fetal pose without the use of props. However, it might be a little bit more comfortable or relaxing to add some pillows or blankets into your practice if you would like to experiment with that. So if you want, you can gently press yourself up. You are welcome to place pillows or blankets in between your calves and your thighs so that your hips can rest down a little bit more. And you're also welcome to place pillows or blankets underneath your chest or your forehead if that helps your upper body to relax more. And from here, once you found a comfortable position, we're just going to hold and breathe for 5 minutes. As you inhale, feel your ribs expand. And as you exhale, feel your ribs contract. This is a restorative yoga practice. We're using long holds of postures to relax not just our body, but our minds and our spirits. Restorative yoga is similar to yin yoga in that it's floor-based, uses props, and we hold postures for long periods of time. However, in yin yoga, there's this idea that you're pushing or moving through discomfort. And also one of the main goals of yin yoga is to work deep into connective tissue, tendons, ligaments, fascia, muscles, joints. Versus in restorative yoga, we're never going to a point of discomfort, and we're using pillows, props, and long holds of postures more just to help us relax a little bit deeper. So it's not about getting the deepest stretch to your body, or finding your edge. It's really just about using some gentle yoga asanas, postures, gentle pranayamas, breathing, and props like pillows and blankets to help you relax and breathe. We'll hold here for 3 more minutes. Let's take 3 more slow breaths here. As you're ready, you can slowly bring your hands under your shoulders and press yourself up into a seated position. Once you are upright, if you had any pillows in front of you, you can set those to the side. And then we'll take a moment sitting upright. If it hurts to sit on your heels, again, you can roll up your mat under your toes or ankles. You can place as many pillows or blankets between your calves and thighs as you'd like. If it feels meaningful to you, you can place your hands together at heart center. And we'll take 3 breaths here, stretching out the toes and ankles. Lift your chest, relax your shoulders. From here, if you'd like a back bend, you can place your hands behind you on your lower back, and then lift your chin and chest up towards the ceiling, look up. Just giving a nice healing compression to the spine, holding here for 3 breaths. Shoulders out of the ears, neck long. Open heart, open mind. You're in a back bend, gently bring your spine back into a neutral position. You can lift your hips, removing any pillows you have from under your lower body. If your mat was rolled up like mine was, you can lengthen your yoga mat again, and then turn and lie on your back in Savasana. So lying on your back with your head on the floor, arms and legs down. I think were it not for yoga, I would not lie on the floor often, but I've come to really appreciate this time. It's a great way to feel, I think, anchored and tethered to the earth, especially at times when it's easy to feel untethered or ungrounded, right? This practice, we're literally allowing the floor to hold us up. And although it wouldn't necessarily be comfortable to like sleep on a hard surface all night, although some people do swear by it, for me, I don't think I would like it, but it is useful to lie on a hard flat floor in the yoga practice and really feel your spine start to lengthen and realign. It's a great way to reset your body. Take a breath. Bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor about hip width distance, ankles under knees. Let your knees rest together, and you might feel your lower back start to lower down towards the floor. This is called collapsed bridge pose. And for many folks, this is more comfortable than Savasana. So if lying on your back with your legs straight does not feel good to your lower back, know that you're always welcome to do this posture instead, again with feet on the floor and knees resting together. And also if you have lower back pain, you might try rolling up a small towel or placing a small pillow underneath your lower back, and that can also help to relieve unnecessary strain from the lumbar spine. Inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. From here, bring your knees and feet together. We're going to go into a supine butterfly pose. This is a hip opener, and you might also want some pillows handy. As you're ready, you're going to start to open your knees apart so that the soles of your feet come together. And if you'd like, you can place pillows underneath your knees for extra support. The closer you have your heels to your groin, the more intense the hip opener. The further away you have your feet from your body, the more gentle the hip opener. I have almost like hyper mobile hips. And so for me, I don't necessarily need the pillows, right? Like my knees can open up fairly wide in this posture. However, because this is a restorative yoga class, I personally am not interested in getting like the deepest stretch to my hips of all time. I'm more interested in just opening this area of my body to relieve tension because we do tend to hold tension in our hips. So that's why I have the pillows underneath my knees, not just to support the hips, but really to actually make the posture intentionally a little more gentle. I was talking with someone about this the other day. I actually think in some ways, the further along you get in your yoga practice, the harder it is to be flexible, which I know if you're inflexible sounds like, I'm playing the tiniest little violin for myself, right? But I think as beginners, when we go into a yoga class and we see someone who, I don't know, folds themselves up into a pretzel, that can look really like desirable, or like interesting, or like, I want to be that person. But over time, at least in my own practice, I can only speak from my own experience. When you have a large range of mobility, I have to make decisions for myself to not push myself too hard, versus for folks with a smaller range of mobility, you don't have to make that choice, right? And so that it's not so tempting to push yourself too hard into a posture because it's simply not an option, right? It's not accessible. And in some ways, as frustrating as that might be, I think it can also prevent long-term wear and tear. Um, Depth of yoga asana, depth of yoga practice does not equate to, depth of yoga asana, depth of yoga posture does not equate to depth of yoga practice. And that's true for hypermobile people as well. You don't need to push yourself into the deepest extent of a posture every time. Again, this is less about opening the hips and more about maybe releasing tension or some stress from a part of the body that can tend to carry some emotions in it. So we'll hold here for 3 more minutes. Again, this is a gentle hip opener. It does not need to be the deepest stretch you've ever gotten. Think of it more as an opportunity, maybe just to let some stuff go. Notice where you might be holding on to tension in your body. See if you can relax just a little bit deeper into the floor, into the pillows, into your breath, into the posture. We'll take 3 more breaths here. With or without the use of your hands, slowly bring your knees back together, feet to the ground. Keep your left foot on the floor. Lift your right foot off the floor, cross your right ankle over your left thigh for supine figure 4. You have an option to keep your left foot on the floor or lift it off the floor, hugging your thighs in towards your abdomen. You can keep your hands on the floor. You can grab the outsides of your legs. You can also take your right arm in between your legs and then interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and pull down. We'll hold here for 1 minute. And this is another hip opener. It's a side seat stretch. Sometimes I really have the urge to press myself to my limit and bring my thighs as close to my chest as possible. Just for today, if you relate to that sentiment of always wanting to push and find your edge, just for today, what if you did a little bit less? If you want, you can even place a pillow in between your chest and your thigh so that your legs can't come in as much. We'll take 3 more breaths here. If you have a grip on your legs, slowly release that grip. Float your left foot to the floor. Mindfully return your right foot to the floor. And we'll do the other side. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Option to keep your right foot on the floor or lift it off the floor, hugging your thighs in towards your abdomen. You can grab the outsides of your legs. You can interlace your hands underneath your right thigh. You can also keep your hands on the floor. Maybe bring 2 shoulders, 2 hips on the floor, head to the floor. Tuck your chin in ever so slightly. Feel your neck spine lengthen, and we'll hold here for a minute. Let's take 3 more slow breaths here. Slowly release any grip you have from the backs of your legs. Mindfully take your right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. You can have your feet about hip width distance, knees resting together for collapsed bridge, or you can go back into your Savasana with your arms and legs down by your side. Feel your body on the floor. Let the floor hold you up. Inhale, body rise. Slow exhale, body fall. Bend your knees if they're not already. Feet on the floor. Mindfully roll off to one side and take your time pressing yourself up into a seated position. Sitting forward, facing forward, we're going to do a side stretch and a spine twist. We'll use pillows here. So sitting forward, you're going to place some pillows to the right of your right hip. You're going to bend your knees and come down onto your side. And if you'd like a pillow for in between your knees, you're welcome to do so. I like to have two pillows rather than one big one so that I can take my right bottom arm forward. And from here, you can either let your left hand rest on your pillow or the floor, or if you'd like a shoulder stretch, you can take your left arm overhead. The general idea is we're gently opening through the left side body, very gently toning into the right side body. We'll hold here for a minute. You have an option to stay in your side stretch, or you can take this into a spine twist. You're going to bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder, so outside of the pillows. Gently lift your head, and if your right arm is underneath you, you're going to slide that right arm out to the right, and then slowly tilt your torso down towards the floor. You can bend your elbows like goalposts or cactus, depending on what feels comfortable to your body. You can have your forehead on the pillow. You can look to the left, so you're looking in the same direction as your knees, or you can look to the right, looking away from your knees. That is a deeper spine twist. For me, it is not accessible and it doesn't feel good. So I like to look in the same direction as my knees, but depending on your mobility, if looking to the right feels good, please do so. We'll hold here for 1 minute. This is a very gentle spine twist, an abdominal wall twist. And if you need to add or remove pillows to make it more comfortable, you're welcome to do so. Spine twisting is really good for back health. And it's also good for digestion. Slowly walk your hands in under your shoulders. Lift your head to look forward if your head was twisting in one direction, and carefully press yourself up. We'll go into the other side of the posture. You are welcome to simply turn around facing the other side of your pillows. For the sake of being on camera, I am going to adjust my pillows so that I continue to face you. But again, you can simply turn in the other direction. Okay. And this side also might feel different from the other side. Keep that in mind. So you might need to add or remove a pillow or take a different shape. Again, sitting with your left hip to your pillows, bend your knees. You can place a pillow between your knees. Coming onto left side body, you can have your left arm underneath you. And then you can either have your right hand on your pillow or you can reach your right arm overhead for a shoulder stretch. On this side, I'm going to keep my hand on my pillow, again, because my right shoulder is a little different from my left shoulder, and I think this feels better today. But you're welcome to have your arm overhead for a little bit more shoulder mobility. Please note that these pillows in the floor are not going anywhere. Start to allow yourself to relax a little bit deeper. Letting go of any tension in the body, particularly if it's difficult for you to rely on other people or to ask for help. This might just be a practice of giving in a little bit, even though it's not to a person, it's to inanimate objects like a pillow or a yoga mat. This might be a good place to start, just really letting your body relax like a rag doll into the posture. Feel your body rise and fall with your breath. And know that there's no such thing as too little in a yoga practice. Even if all you do is show up on your mat and take a nap or slowly breathe, it's a wonderful place to be. Give yourself permission to do less. So much these days in yoga is again about kind of pushing yourself and maybe doing like a handstand, which is inspiring in some ways, but in other ways, it seems to allude to this idea that bigger is better. And this practice is inviting us to explore the more subtle shapes and forms of yoga. We'll take 3 more breaths here. You have an option to stay on your side or take this into a spine twist, placing your right hand on the floor close to right shoulder. Gently lift your head, slide your left arm out from underneath you and tilt your chest and abdomen towards the floor. Again, you can cactus your elbows like goalposts. You can have your forehead on your pillow. You can look to the left away from your knees, or you can look to the right in the same direction of your knees. And we'll hold here for a minute. Slowly walk your hands in under your shoulders. Press yourself up into a seated position. Remove the pillow from in between your knees if you had one. We're going to sit upright. You can sit again crisscross applesauce or in Sukhasana easy pose with one foot in front of the other. Earlier we cat-cowed in tabletop on our knees and hands. Here we're going to cat-cow in a seated position with hands on knees. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull your abdomen in, round your spine like a cat, meow. Your next inhale, cow pose, move, roll your shoulders back and down, look up. Do that again, exhale into your cat pose. So it's compression to the abdominal wall, extension to the spine. Inhale into your cow pose, extension to the abdominal wall, compression to the spine. Exhale, cat, going at your own pace. Again, our postures and our pace, our timing do not need to mirror each other. Whenever you're ready, inhale into your cow, looking up. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders. Exhale into a neutral spine position. I'm going to do another heart opener using these pillows. So I'll show you. The idea here is you're going to face away from your pillows this time. You'll want 1 or 2 pillows for underneath your middle and lower back, and then 1 or 2 slightly smaller pillows for underneath your head. So the idea here is you're going to get a back bend, but your head is not hanging all the way off. There's support to the head and neck. It might take a little bit of trial and error to find your right amount of pillows. From here, you're going to lie on your back, lying onto the pillows. And again, your butt should be on the floor, your chest is lifted. Make sure that your head is not hanging all the way off. That would not feel good to my neck. I don't know about you. So 1 or 2 pillows for under your head, and then 1 or 2 maybe slightly bigger pillows for underneath your back. You are welcome to keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor. You can also straighten your legs. You can have your arms out in a big expansive gesture. You can also, again, bend your elbows, cactusing them like goalposts, or have your arms down by your side. We're going to hold here for 3 minutes. Again, it's not about getting the deepest back bend of all time. This is about maybe releasing some tension from the front of the body, just like we did in our butterfly pose earlier. We tend to store tension in our chest and our hips, which the first time I heard a yoga teacher say, like, you hold emotion in your hips, I like rolled my eyes and I was like, what does that mean? But like on a biological level, right? If you are protecting yourself from, let's say, a bear attack, you would hunch forward to protect the front of your body where like your organs and glands live, right? You biologically protect like the really important stuff from an attack. Now, although there's bear attacks still certainly happen, they're less frequent than they were, thousands of years ago, but we still have that same biological response to stress, even if, maybe it's not a bear, maybe it's just our boss criticizing our work or like a tough conversation that we have with a friend. We still tend to hunch up, even if we don't realize that it's happening. And over time, that starts to store in the body. So doing back bends like this releases, again, that tension or that emotion that we start to store in the front of our body. Open hearts, open minds. You're welcome to close your eyes. We'll hold here for 2 more minutes, just letting anything go through the exhale breath, anything that feels a little heavy. Maybe it's no longer serving you. It's an invitation to almost imagine it leaving your body. Melt into your mat. Sink into your breath. Let the floor and pillows hold you up. We often have to be so strong throughout our day. This is an opportunity to be soft, which is its own form of bravery. We'll take 3 more slow breaths here. There are many ways to come out of this back bend. Of course, you could roll off to the side or elbow your way up. I will share my favorite way. And bend your knees if they're not already with feet on the floor. Keep your head on the pillows. Lift your hips and remove the pillow or pillows from underneath your lower and middle back. And then lift your head and remove the pillows from underneath your head. From here, we're going to take a collapsed bridge for a moment with the feet slightly apart and the knees resting together. As you come out of that back bend, that big heart opener, it is not uncommon to feel like a little lightheaded or dizzy, or just feel your blood sort of shift in the body. Keep your knees together, walk your feet together. Take your arms out to the side and roll to the right so that your left hip stacks on top of your right hip, left shoulder on the floor. We'll hold for 3 breaths in this spine twist. You can keep the back of your head on the floor or look over your left shoulder away from your knees, deepening the twist. You're looking to the left, slowly roll the back of your head to the floor. With or without the help of your hands and arms, roll your left hip down, and then we'll do the other side, roll to the left, right hip stacks on top of left hip, arms out to the side. You can keep the back of your head on the floor, or look over your right shoulder, right ear towards the floor, holding here for 3 slow breaths. You're looking over your right shoulder, bring the back of your head to the floor. With or without the use of your hands and arms, bring your right hip back down to the floor. For your final Savasana, you can stay in collapsed bridge with your feet together, feet on the floor, hip width distance, knees together, or you can take your arms and legs down, Savasana. Inhale, body rise. Exhale, body fall. I often find that after a yoga class, I am at my most honest and my most compassionate. There's a quote, honesty without tact is cruelty. And sometimes not only can we be cruel to others through tactless honesty, but we can also be cruel to ourselves. So I particularly find a post-yoga class to be the time where I can be really honest with myself, but with tact and compassion. It's also often a time that I'm a little bit more creative and relaxed. And sometimes I do something with this, but sometimes I just kind of get up and drink water and make dinner and go about the rest of my day. So once a month, I like to offer some time for reflection and journaling, where you can put pen to paper and maybe use this, this energy that you've fostered during your yoga practice. If writing is not your thing, you're also, of course, welcome simply to listen and reflect. I do find that it can be helpful to get something out of your head and onto paper. And sometimes it can be meaningful to hold on to that paper or like tear it up and throw it away, right? So you're going to have that option at the end of class as well. At your own pace, you can roll off to one side and press yourself up And then grab a pen and paper for a little journaling. I can't believe it's already September. This is our September journaling. Wow. Okay. We're going to start today by writing down anything. We'll just take a minute, anything that you would like to put on paper, anything you'd like to get out there, whether it's a worry or a concern or an observation. You're welcome to just take a minute to write anything out that's been on your mind or on your heart. And again, sometimes getting things out of our brain and onto paper is helpful. Of course, speaking things out loud to a friend or a family member or a therapist can also be helpful, but there's something I think special about writing something out. If any of these prompts are particularly meaningful to you, you're also welcome to continue with them or return to them after class or throughout the month. Next, we'll go into 20 gratitudes. This is an opportunity to write down 20 things, people, places, experiences that you are grateful for. I often find at first it's easy for me to say I'm grateful for my friends, for my family. And then sometimes I have a little bit of a lull. And then as I really start to think about it, all of a sudden I'm like overwhelmed with gratitude for like literacy, yoga, Thai food, candles, sweaters, right? You can just start to let the gratitude sort of wash over you. So 20 things, people, places, experiences, sensations that you are grateful for. The theme for this month is rest and play. So we'll start with rest. What does it look like for you to take rest? What does rest look like to you? For some people, it could mean a nap. For other people, it could mean a puzzle or doodling. Or for other people, it could mean meditation, sitting still for an hour. There's many different versions of rest. What does rest look like to you? Where and how might you add more rest to your life? How do you feel when you're rested, when you're well rested versus when you're not? And you can also perhaps consider how this might seep into your interactions with others, both in your personal life, at work, and volunteerism. So how do you feel when you're rested versus when you're not? And how might this affect not just yourself, but others? Sometimes we view rest as a luxury or a privilege, but when I think about how I feel when I'm rested and how I treat other, not just myself, but how I treat others when I'm rested, it's a reminder that rest is actually a necessity to a functioning nervous system and a, like a, our ability to connect with ourselves and others. Moving on to play. How did you play as a child, or what did play look like when you were a kid? How do you play now as an adult, or what do you conceptualize as play? What do you do for play in your current iteration of life? Is there an element of play from your childhood that you can bring into your adult version of play? So, for example, if you liked making up stories as a kid, can you make up stories as an adult? If you liked the playground as a child, is there a way that you can play hopscotch as an adult? how do you feel after play? So even for those of us who find it difficult to rest, it might be more obvious to us that we need rest in our life than it is that as adults that we need play. So how do you feel after play versus when you have to be serious all the time? And I know for me, again, I observe if I'm serious all the time, this doesn't just affect my relationship with myself, it affects my relationship with other people as well, because I'm a little less, I think, like buoyant and joyful. So how do you feel after play? And how can you add more play to your life? Or where can you add more play? Last but not least, what is a mantra that you can have for your September? So this is something that you can keep for yourself. It can be a word such as joy or creativity. It can be a phrase, or it can be a sentence, or again, a mantra. This is something that you can literally write and put in your back pocket or on a post-it note to have with you for the rest of the month. Or this is something that you can simply think back to. And on that note, again, this is something that you can keep for yourself to look at or never look at again. Or this is something, if it feels meaningful to you, you can rip it up, tear it up. If you have a fire safe way to burn it, emphasis on fire safe. Only if you have a fire safe way to burn this, you're also welcome to burn it. Or again, just keep it for your own records. Thank you so much for joining me for this journaling and yoga time. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I hope to practice with you soon. Bye, friends.